Now, an amber alert for snow is in place tonight for large areas of northern Scotland. It could mean more than 7 extra inches of snow falling in some places, leading to possible power cuts and road closures. The amber warnings are in place until tomorrow evening across northwest Scotland and the Northern Isles. Meanwhile, yellow warnings for snow and ice cover much of Scotland and northern England, as well as parts of Wales and Northern Ireland. It follows the coldest recorded night of the winter so far, down to -14 in the Scottish Highlands, the lowest January temperature in Britain since 2019. Sean Batty earlier sent us this report.
Well, you join me here in a very snowy Ullapool, where this snow is going to continue through tonight and also into tomorrow, hence why we have an amber weather warning out covering Shetland and Orkney, the North Highlands, where we could be looking at as much as another 20 centimetres to come through tonight and also tomorrow. The wind's also going to be picking up too, and with these frequent snow showers piling in, we will get blizzard-like conditions potentially, and very dry, powdery snow as well, so we could get drifting of that snow. So some dangerous travelling conditions here in the north, and again some very low temperatures. Last night we got down to -14 degrees in Dalwhinnie around the South Highlands, and again tonight we could be getting those sort of temperatures where we have the clearer skies. So very cold, very icy, and in some parts very snowy. How often do we get amber weather warnings? Well, actually this is only the third for snow in Scotland in the last 4 years. The last one we had was exactly a year ago today, covering the north and the northeast of the country. Now, as I travelled up here today, there was quite a few abandoned cars on the roads, especially in the A835 into Ullapool, so some terrible travelling conditions around. But look at this will put a smile on your face. Highland cows enjoying the lovely snow. Who knew they could move so fast? Beautiful conditions from the sky over Scotland, but yes, it is very pretty to look at, but also very dangerous to travel around in. Things will be changing though right across the whole of the UK, and here we're looking at a big thaw coming in later on this weekend, potentially stormy conditions in parts of the UK, and with that thaw coming in, the risk of some flooding issues I expect into the start of next week.
Okay, Sean Batty there with what must be Scotland's biggest snowman. Now, tonight could be the UK's coldest for years. Most of the country is set for sub-zero temperatures until the weekend. Yellow warnings for ice and snow have been issued across all 4 nations, with thermometers expected to plummet as low as -15 degrees Celsius as Arctic winds sweep in. In Scotland, snow, 4 schools remain closed today.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon to you. The big freeze continues this week. Another very cold day in store. For many of us, dry with widespread sunshine, but it's been a real winter wonderland scene across much of the north, certainly northern Scotland. Heavy snow showers are becoming thick and fast, and we're likely to see more of them through today, tonight, into tomorrow, so much so the Met Office have issued an amber warning for these snow showers, which could bring an extra 10 to 20 centimetres of snow. And that's the sign of things to come through the weekend into next week. It's all change. Wet, windy weather, mild southwesterly winds, could see gales, even severe gales, perhaps Sunday into Monday. So we replace the hazards of snow and ice with the risk of snowmelt and heavy rain, which could lead to some flooding next week, so stay tuned.
Good afternoon. The cold snap continues, and today we've had cloud too, so it has been not only cold but also rather grey. Now, as we head further through this afternoon, for some at least, the clouds should start to thin a little further, especially towards the north, the home counties. We'll start to see some winter sunshine. So the temperature is actually rising through the weekend, mostly dry. The wind, however, is going to strengthen by the end of the weekend and into next week. It is going to turn progressively more unsettled and wet and windy. So we're hanging on to these cold temperatures next couple of days through the weekend. They get slightly milder by Sunday, back in double figures.
Hello there, and a very good evening to everybody at home. Well, we're still in this current cold spell of weather. It's been cloudy today, the sunshine always trying to break through, but we are going to reach the end of this cold spell of weather by Saturday. Very mild by Sunday, also windy as well. Definitely a day to watch out for. There's already weather warnings out across western parts of the UK, and after that it looks like it's going to stay quite changeable. Of a northwesterly breeze, but we start to tap in to something a little less cold, and you will notice that by the time we get to Saturday. As for Friday though, it looks like it's going to stay dry and bright, lots of sunshine around. Temperatures just about getting up to 4 degrees Celsius. Temperatures not quite as cold overnight, so to start off the weekend, just a touch of frost around, but certainly much cloudier on Saturday. It's going to be quite breezy as well. A noticeable change in temperature, though, highs of 7 degrees Celsius and highs of 11 by Sunday, but it's also going to be very blustery as well. Bye-bye.
Well, do you know, earlier we were looking at the snow problems in Shetland. This is actually a picture from Lerwick, where we've seen the snow really piling up over recent days. And it is in Lerwick where we've got the greatest snow depths on our charts at the moment, 21 centimetres. There'll be some bigger drifts around, mind you. I think the weather's actually going to get even more disruptive across the northern half of the UK over the next 24 hours. Well, more cold, just for a little time before it turns milder. Now, today, you probably noticed, as well as it being cold, there was a lot more cloud in the sky. And to be honest, we swerved some really severe weather. The cloud here was associated with Storm Irene that brought a combination of freezing rain and snow to parts of northern France, Belgium and Germany. There were over 500 flights cancelled in Frankfurt, and there's been loads of accidents. That system came so close to our shores, but anyway, close but no cigars. That, though, is the last of the really cold days, because as we head into this weekend, we're going to start to get southwesterly winds driven in across the whole of the UK, and they will bring much milder weather conditions. Now, as well as that, it could be very, very windy for a time as we go into the second part of the weekend and the early part of next week. Perhaps gales for us. There'll be some rain around as well. But we're going from a cold spell of weather to an incredibly mild spell of weather. Temperatures on Tuesday look set to reach around 15 degrees. The average this time of the year is around 8. So we're nearly done with the cold. Milder weather on the way.
That sounds good. 15 is more my vibe, Chris. Thank you.
Hello there. The Met Office amber snow and ice warnings remains in force across northern Scotland and the Northern Isles through tonight and into much of tomorrow. These snow showers will come in thick and fast with some significant accumulations of snow in places. Could lead to some issues by the morning period. Elsewhere it's largely clear but very cold and very frosty, probably the coldest night of this cold snap.
And those warnings, we saw Sean Batty earlier in the programme.
Yeah.
Incredible snow in Scotland.
Yeah, a lot of snow in Scotland, and they're going to get topped up. You've got these amber warnings in place. There could well be a bit of drifting as well. So still quite disruptive in places, I have to say. In fact, let's take a quick look at earlier today. This was actually the scene in Scotland. If we can take a look at that right now, and you can see certainly a few centimetres here and there. Oh, that's Londonderry. And as we head through the coming hours, as I say, we've got these warnings in place, so there'll be further snowfall accumulations to come, which could, again, be disruptive. So do check before you travel, particularly if you do live in these areas. Let's take a quick look actually at the current warnings, and I tell you, they have kept me busy today because there have been lots of changes. But here's where we are at the moment. So we've got these amber warnings for snow across the Northern Isles and the northwest of Scotland. As I say here, we could get a further 20 centimetres of snow falling. In the snow and ice warning, the yellow warning, which is a slightly larger area, we could see again more accumulations, a fair bit of snow on the ground here as well. So again, it could be quite disruptive, and I suspect where we do have those closures in place, they will remain in place for tomorrow as well. And then we've got snow and ice warnings in place actually across western parts of Wales into the West Country, and then an ice warning which was issued a very short time ago out towards the southeast, and that's for now actually until tomorrow morning. As for Thursday, there are some tweaks. We're going to get a snow and ice warning out towards eastern parts of England as well, up to 7 centimetres up over the tops of the hills. Less cold air moves in from the west, and we are going to see temperatures picking right back up. So let's take a look at the comparison chart for today versus this coming Sunday. So you can see across parts of the north, it didn't get to +1 in places, but you can see by the time we get to Sunday, we're going to be back up into double digits in places. But of course, no consolation, really. It's going to be quite wet and windy. Well, I'm going to head straight back to my weather computer and look at the latest data because it's all change at the moment, but hopefully things settling down by the weekend.
OK. Alex, thank you.